Hello everybody, Corey from Gemini Guitar, back for the Patreon exclusive today, and we're doing episode 2 of the Art of Gothic Guitar. So in this episode what we're going to be looking at is roughly about 4 chord voicings with some embellishments, and there's not really a hard and fast way to pick through these, and that's what I like about this style of music, and generally arpeggiation in general, is that there's really an infinite amount of ways you could do it. So we'll take a look at a couple of those ways and then you're on your own way then. So let me play the idea first and then we'll break it down into kind of roughly what I'm doing. Okay, so there's essentially 2 cycles to this. On the first cycle, we're going to be employing a power chord voicing. It's a higher power chord voicing. What makes this one interesting is that we're going to use the high E string with it. So we've got the D note twice, the 5th, which is A, and we're going to throw on that E note. So the E note, when you play it on its own and you've just played this, then you play this note, doesn't sound that great, but when you put it together, there's a nice harmonic tension between this note, that's the A note, so basically what I'm doing is arpeggiating it in a way so I give it just a little bit of space, and I'm going to make use of all of the notes. So we start out, say, like this. Pretty standard. When we get to the higher note, so it's basically 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And we're going to repeat the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but we're going to space them out a bit more. What you don't want to do generally is just keep arpeggiating and leave no space at all. It's a bit like guys that play fast guitar and then it comes time to construct a melody and they don't know how. So we want to have some balance there, and that's what makes music sound better. So from that point, what we're going to do is we're just going to change the bass note. And this is a big part of my style and the guitarists that have influenced me over the years. So what this means is we just keep these 2 fingers down and we're going to put the middle, at least that's what I like to use here, at the 8th fret on the 6th string. And instead of using the open D string, we're going to not use that now, and then we're going to have these other 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, with the 6th string. So it's the C note. And essentially what this is doing is inferring a progression. So the first part of the progression is essentially like a D minor. And that voicing there's one we're going to look at in a minute. The next part of the progression is just a C. And the next is G minor. And then we're going to B flat. Now, although those sound great, generally, I'd like to spice things up with some more exotic voicings, which is why I'm doing these. So this is what this part's going to sound like. So now it's basically I'm using the same string and picking pattern. We just omitted the D string and replaced that with the 6th string for the C note. And then we move down into a G minor voicing. So you'll need to be able to bar your finger so that you can at least get the 6th, 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings to ring out. Note that I like to put my finger up a bit further. Some guitar teachers say this is not a good idea or it's technically not correct, and personally I don't know why. I like it and it works for me, so that's what matters. You'll also notice I use the middle finger to back this index finger up. So it helps me to squeeze down, because that's what essentially we're doing. We're squeezing. It's like a clamp or a capo. And then we're going to embellish it with a little melody. We're going to play the 6th, 5th, and 3rd fret. And then the 2nd string. If you wanted to, you could add the 3rd string, but I think that's pushing it, so we'll just do this for the time being. And then we're going to move up to our B flat voicing. And actually this is an interesting one because it's more of a D minor add 9 voicing than anything. I think it's the add 9, let me check. Because we've got the E note. Yeah, it's an add 9 voicing there, minor add 9. But it's only a small one, so we've got the D note, the 3rd, the add 9, which is E. And we're going to put the B flat down the bottom. And that infers our B flat chord. So it's not a complete B flat chord, but it's part of one, the root note. But it helps us to get through that. And by doing this, we create a more interesting sound. Rather than just the standard B flat, we mix the D minor add 9 with the B flat. Now if you wanted to there, I think I might have done the introduction, you can use the 4th finger to play a C note. Go back to the open string, 2nd string, 3rd string. Okay, so as far as the next cycle goes, we're going to get a little bit more standard here. So we're going to just use an easy D minor voicing in the 10th position. It's a semi-bar chord, so you'll just bar the 1st finger over strings 1, 2, and 3. Play the open D with it. Oops. And then, I can't remember what I did in the intro because I was just improvising, but we could use, a little bit like the G minor actually, we could use the 4th finger 3 frets higher, then the 3rd finger, 1st finger where it's barring, and then the 2nd string. Move that down into the standard C major without the 3rd and the 4th finger in the 8th position. So a little bit easier than the standard bar chord, but still a bit tricky if you're still new to bar chords. It can take a bit of getting used to. It's basically a question of time if you practice it, because you've got to develop the necessary strength in this part of the hand here, this side. There's a sort of, this area here, if you sort of do that, you can see it sort of flexes out a bit. That's a bit of the grab strength. And then what I did, just for a little bit of extra variety in class, we'll chuck in a G minor 7, which is something you wouldn't hear a lot in Gothic music, but I like the sound of it. And then we can throw in a B flat major 7 here in the 13th position. That's something I like to use a lot in my own style of playing. And I'm pretty sure I picked that up from Robin Guthrie of the Cocteau Twins, because I've heard him do similar sorts of things. So on a subconscious level, it's influenced me, and probably on a conscious level too. I just like to make the most use of the complete fretboard rather than just staying in a little, safe area. I like to move things around a lot. So essentially we've got this voicing, the D minor, and some embellishment notes in the minor scale. C major. Mostly that's just the chord. There's one outlier there, the D note. G minor 7, no embellishments here from other notes, just the chord. And then the B flat major 7. If you want, you can add some vibrato there. It sounds really cool. And that about wraps things up. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. And look forward to seeing you at the next lesson. But until then, bye for now.